Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Test Tube Plus today. I am Trace, and this is episode 5 of 5 on pornography. We've already talked about how the porn industry works, how our brains work when it comes to porn, and all sorts of other topics. Make sure you watch all of those episodes before you get to this one, or if you're just interested in this one, let's jump right in. Recently, 26 states have laws against revenge porn, also known as non-consensual pornography. The initiative to fight revenge porn is pretty new. One case sentenced a guy named Kevin Bollaert, founder of a now-defunct revenge porn site, YouGotPosted.com, and he would post photos of women whose ex-boyfriends had sent in, but also post their names and their addresses and whatever other information he may have on them, including social media accounts. Women testified saying that they'd lost their jobs, had ruined their relationships with their families, and some had even attempted suicide because of what had happened on these websites. Revenge porn is serious business for people. It really can hurt people, and Kevin was sentenced to 18 years in prison because of his crimes. But before major cases like this, it was a lot tougher to take action against photos being posted online without your consent. Some folks have tried to use copyright laws to pull them down. Others have tried stalking and harassment laws to attempt to win the suits for their clients who were victims. But if you want to file a copyright claim on a photo so you can get it taken down off of a website, you have to file those photos with the U.S. Copyright Office, which makes them public, so anybody can get them, and they're connected to you forever. The debate that porn degrades women has plenty of opinions and plenty of evidence in all sorts of different ways, but on both sides. There is obviously a skew in the porn debate in that a lot of porn is created for and by men. And men do tend to be the major holder of, I guess, the porn keys. But that doesn't mean that men are the only ones in the porn industry or consuming it. One side of this debate argues that women who participate in porn are doing it under their own admission and therefore are empowered by it. They're choosing to do this. While the other side says that women are the victims here. Unfortunately, there isn't much research in this area. We really looked and we tried to find as much scientific research as we could, and we found some, but there really needs to be more. This is one of those areas where more research is definitely needed. One study published in the Journal of Sex Research found that in the majority of pornographic content, women were often seen as instruments of men's sexual pleasure, since most of the scenarios only depicted male orgasms. But men were more frequently dehumanized because their faces were rarely shown. Only certain parts of their body were ever shown on camera. Overall, men and women both had equal amounts of power in terms of their social and professional status in these porn movies. Like maybe she was the boss sometimes, he was the boss other times. Men and women were about equally as likely to initiate sexual encounters in pornography that was studied. And another study, published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, had men look at random photos of women in, quote, clothed, nude, or sexual clothing. This is the pornographic clothing. Participants were asked to judge the degree with which the women in the photos were capable of A, self-control, B, planning and acting morally, C, capable of feeling fear, D, feeling desire and feeling pleasure. The study found that men didn't see these sexually clothed women as instruments, like other studies have found, but instead, the author of the study, Joshua Knobe, writes that it doesn't look like pornography is leading men to treat women as mere objects, like, say, a table. Instead, men seem to be getting something that might be called animalification, treating women as though they lack the capacity for complex thinking and reasoning, which sounds a lot like porn, actually. Let me just do a sidebar here really quick. Porn is almost entirely without logical cause and effect. It's a scripted theater. You know, hey, I'm in your house and I'm a stranger. Cool, let's bang, even though I'm in the shower currently and would probably call the police in a real situation. It doesn't have to be logical, because that's not what porn is about. It's not a documentary, it's sex theater. But at the same time, the study found that the men rating the images treated women as though they were even more capable of having strong feelings and emotional responses. A lot of the discussion around pornography degrading women is male-focused. Men are degrading women by watching porn. Whether that's true or not, as I said earlier, more research is needed. Although a lot of people feel very strongly about this, and they should. This can be a serious issue. Porn is a very male-focused industry, but not all porn watchers are men. The blame doesn't squarely fall in any one camp. Pew Research asked the question that no one seems to ask since Victorian times, right? Who watches porn? Are women and men both sexual? And according to their findings, 8% of women admit to watching porn. That seemed kind of low to us here at TestTube Plus, but according to the Pew study, if you look a little further, only 12% of adults have ever admitted to watching porn online, according to that same study. So, yeah, low. But according to another study, a survey done in the United Kingdom by Ann Summers, who is a woman who runs a chain of sensuality and sex stores around the United Kingdom, over half of women, 55%, watch videos or sexual content on their own once a month. Now, you could argue both of these are wrong, right? The Pew study might be too low. The Ann Summers survey is probably too high because it's in Ann Summers' best interest to encourage people to go to her stores. People have trouble talking about this topic. We just talked about it for an hour. That's pretty unusual. But it's a huge industry, billions of dollars a year worldwide, many billions, 5 billion alone in the US, and again, that also seems low. And everyone is affected by pornography in some way or another. Many people by watching it, some people by participating in it, some people in other ways. But pornography is definitely part of our society, and so to not talk about it, that just seems silly. So why don't you tell us how you feel about it in the comments? Or you can come find us on Twitter. We're at TestTube. I'm at Trace Dominguez. And thanks for watching TestTube Plus this week. It was a pretty strange week on pornography, but I think it was really interesting, and I hope you do too. So please subscribe so you can come back and watch our show every week. We do 5 episodes a week on a big topic, so we hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time on TestTube Plus.